Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Finance Committee meeting this morning. Oh, we're not quite ready yet.
Should be good now. Looks good there.
All right, so we're good to go. Again, I'd like to welcome everyone here today and those that are listening to our Finance Committee meeting. And I'd like to acknowledge that we are in Mi'kma'ki, the traditional territory of the Mi'kmaq people. Do we have any announcements, acknowledgements, or recognitions this morning? Councillor Reinhardt and Councillor Smith. Oh, and Councillor Brooks, awesome.
Thank you. I'd like to recognize and congratulate the Broad Cove Hall as they celebrate their 175th anniversary this year. So that means they started in 1850. The Hall has a rich history of hosting community events, including suppers, dances, weddings, concerts, baby groups, and the Rockabilly Picnic. Last weekend, I attended a wonderful community potluck in honor of this event. And this weekend, they are asking folks to join them in celebration at their event, A Tapestry of Time, Shared Memories and Stories. Barry and Wayne Smith will kick things off by sharing their personal memories of the Hall and the community, with John DeMont hosting the conversation. Whether you've been part of the Hall's legacy for years or are discovering it for the first time, this event is a chance to honor the stories that unite us. Together, let's weave our past into the future. This event is happening at the Broad Cove Hall on Saturday, June 7th from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Admission is free, but donations are always welcome.
Councillor Smith?
Thanks. I just wanted to say congratulations to everyone who was involved with the Healthy Wells Day event at the Parkdale Maplewood Hall on June 1st. It was a big success, and this was put on by the Atlantic Water Network and Rural Water Watch with funding by Lunenburg County Community Fund. And I know that some local volunteers were part of this event, and that they felt quite happy with the event. It was very well attended. They handed out 83 and 84 bottles for chemical and bacteria testing. And this was an increased response from the event that they had held in Walden last fall, which I took part in. The event was organized in this spot specifically due to the distance from a testing area. So testing for water tends to go down the further away you get from the location where you can pick up and drop off your bottles. So that's why this community testing was organized, as well as known presence of chemicals in the area, chemicals and minerals. Such as arsenic. And of course, the increased interest around testing for uranium in the water also brought a number of people out to establish a bit of a baseline for their for understanding what's in their well water. And many of us would not meet the recommendation for testing our water every 6 months for bacteria and every 2 years for chemicals. So I just want to congratulate the groups that were involved and thank them for coming to our area and putting on this event. And just noting that there's another one on June 8th in Blockhouse.
That's wonderful to be able to offer that service. Councillor Brooks?
I just wanted to quickly report our time up in Ottawa was interesting. It was interesting and I'll be frank, a little disheartening in some ways. One of the issues that myself and other councillors and the mayor discussed a lot at the time is scale. and scalability. And I'll tell you that 98% of what was presented to us was for communities that are bigger than us and don't necessarily relate to our community. It's more clear to me than ever, we need to be advocates for our special place and for our special needs and for solutions that fit our community and frankly fit our budgets. No one's coming to save us. That was very clear. There's not a leadership. There was a lot of discussion about the problems, and frankly, not enough discussion about the solutions. So there were no lifelines thrown to us. There may be some changes at the federal level that are going to take a serious amount of time to happen, but we must be vigilant and be advocates for this community because no one is doing it for us. So that's the good news, bad news report from the FCM. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Councillor Brooks. And you are right, we do have to advocate not just for our residents, but our whole municipality. I also have been very busy with different things this week. It seems to be a week of a lot of things. On behalf of council, I attended a citizenship celebration that was at the Lunenburg Academy that was put on by the Lunenburg Academy Foundation. And they welcomed 43 new Canadians from 12 different countries. Students from the Pence Elementary School were there also to witness the swearing in of the new Canadians. There were musical performances. Canada has commemorated Citizenship Week from the 26th to June the 1st, and there was also cake. Then we all joined hands in a circle of unity around the Lunenburg Academy, and the Lunenburg Academy Foundation put this together. It was a wonderful celebration. Then on Friday, Kevin Wynot of the Bull Run Trail Association gave me my very first ATV ride on the trail, the Bull Run Trail, and it starts in my district in the community of Wildville and goes to the Queen County line. The Bull Run Trail, as with all of our trails, has so much biodiversity and varied landscapes. And I just want to thank Kevin for going out of his way and taking me on that 2-hour ride. Then on Saturday, the 31st, I attended the Bay to Bay Trail on behalf of council. And it was a rainy day, but that didn't stop a great group of people from coming out. They are very excited to share the new wetland panel installed for everyone, and it highlights the beauty, biodiversity, and the importance of sensitive wetland habitat along the Bay to Bay Trail. The Bay to Bay Wetland Stewardship and Interpretive Project is twofold. One element is the wetland interpretive panels that was unveiled on Saturday, and the second element is a report intended for trail boards and managers detailing best practices for trail maintenance in sensitive habitat. It was researched and prepared by their project partner, Coastal Action, and the report will be available to read or to download via the Bay to Bay website. We have a wonderful group of hardworking, dedicated volunteers within all of our trail groups within the District of Lunenburg, and I would like to encourage everyone to take time to relax, take a bike ride, walk, jog, or leisurely ride an ATV on the trail. You won't be disappointed. So it's been a very eventful week for everyone. And Councillor Vino.
Thank you. I also attended the FCM conference, and I found it to be very educational and informal. The mayor and Councillor Smith and I met with our MP for the first time in a very unofficial way, but basically to say that we are ready to work together and move things forward. And it was our first opportunity to do so, and we were thankful that she squeezed us in during that time. Also during FCM, besides just the sessions that they put on, it's a great opportunity to chat with other councillors, mayors from other areas. And I'll use one example that we did. We attended a session, and the mayor and I were at the same table for this, and we talked about navigating problems and issues, and I brought up land use planning, and the whole table went, oh, don't get me started, because we're all dealing with the same stuff. So it's interesting to see what other people have done to navigate through the process, and that's a big part of attending these conferences. You see what other people are doing, and you can bring that back to your own council and around the table. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're going to continue on with our agenda. Oh, we have a public proclamation by the mayor for World Ocean Day.
And just before I do that, I'll just comment on the Federated, the meeting we attended, Federated Municipalities of Canada meeting in Ottawa. And we will, the group of us, the four of us, will compile some details around observations and critiques we made and things that we learned and things that we've brought back. I've already given to our Director of Recreation something I found about lighting and security cameras for parks, and which I think is a very timely thing that we have talked about. And so there are small bits that you pick up and bigger observations that you make. So we will compile a report that we'll distribute. Maybe we'll do that together over the next week and share a document to compile that. But beyond that, I would, at this point, like to read the proclamation. It's on World Ocean Day, which seems very appropriate for us to recognize for our municipality. A proclamation in support of the municipality of the District of Lunenburg, recognizing and celebrating World Ocean Day 2025 and the advancement of ocean conservation in Canada. Whereas Sunday, June 8th, 2025 is the 33rd Annual World Ocean Day. World Ocean Day is the United Nations Day for celebrating the role of the ocean in everyday life and inspiring action to protect it. Whereas countries around the world, including Canada as a prominent leader, have committed to protecting 30% of their ocean territory by 2030 in order to reserve nature loss in the ocean and safeguard at-risk marine life. Whereas the ocean is home to hundreds of species at risk, vulnerable ecosystems, and is a crucial carbon sink, shielding us from the worst of climate change. Whereas the ocean produces over half of the world's oxygen and absorbs 50 times more carbon dioxide than our atmosphere. Therefore, protecting the ocean is in the interest of all life on Earth and communities both coastal and inland, as it is essential to our shared future. Where it is the jurisdiction of the Government of Canada, under various pieces of legislation and regulation, to establish marine protected areas in consultation with Indigenous peoples, many Indigenous nations and communities are leading in the conservation of the ocean and have been stewards of the ocean since time immemorial. Whereas it is important for municipal leaders to demonstrate support for actions to safeguard the ocean, as they have for action on climate change and other environmental matters of national importance. Whereas in celebrating the ocean and protecting its habitats and ecosystems, we can together raise the profile of ocean conservation's crucial role in improving planetary health and slowing the crisis of species collapse and ecosystem decline. Therefore, be it resolved that the municipality of the District of Lunenburg recognizes the 33rd anniversary of World Ocean Day on June 8, 2025, and supports national and international efforts to protect 30% of the ocean by 2030.
Thank you very much. And I want to thank everybody for their input this morning. Speaking of input, I see that we have no one in our gallery for public input, but I do want to mention that this council does have several opportunities for the public to engage with council, and residents are welcome to use the public input portion of the meeting to share their thoughts with council on municipal topics that are important to them. And we're going to move on with our agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda? Seeing none, could someone move that we approve? Moved by Councillor Brooks, seconded by Councillor Burns. Any discussion? No? All those in favor? Agenda has passed. The minutes. Are there any changes to the minutes of May the 6th that have been circulated? Seeing none, I approve the minutes as circulated. Is there any business rising from the minutes? We have no presentations this morning and no referrals from committees. We're going to move right into our staff reports, and we have some late applications for our annual operating grants from Trudy.
Yes, good morning, Mayor and Council. This morning's staff report refers to 2 late applications to our annual operating grants. As Council can recall, at our May 13th, 2025 Council meeting, Council did award a total of $152,060 in grants from both categories, the annual operating and the recreation capital, which left a surplus of $4,684 in the budget. The application forms that people fill out, it clearly states that late applications will be reviewed only after the regular review of those applicants that have applied on time. So that was done on May the 13th. Both the Lunenburg Dock Fest and the South Shore Fieldhouse were late applications. I did review those 2 late applications using the same criteria as we did the other grants that you approved on May the 13th, and using that criteria and the same formulas based on whether they were a organization within the municipality, whether they were a regional service, or whether they were an organization outside of the municipality. So one thing I did not include in my report, the Lunenburg Dock Fest did apply for $1,500, just so that folks know how much the applications were for, and the South Shore Fieldhouse had applied for $5,000. So based on the assessment conducted, it is the staff are recommending that the Finance Committee recommend to Council to award the Lunenburg Dock Fest Association $650 and the South Shore Fieldhouse $2,625. And if there's any questions, I certainly will try to answer them.
Can we have someone put the motion on the floor, and then we can have a discussion if there needs to be? Go ahead, Councillor Smith.
To Mayor McLean-Weil and members of Finance Committee, I move that the Finance Committee recommends to Council that Municipal Council award the Lunenburg Dock Fest Association $650 and the South Shore Fieldhouse $2,625 from the annual operating grant fund. I so move.
And could I have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Reinhardt. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion's passed. Thank you very much. Unanimous. I can't say that word. It's passed. There is no correspondence and no recommendations from council. We're going to move immediately into in-camera. And so we'll just wait a few moments for that to happen. Pardon? Oh, we need a motion to go in camera. I'm sorry. Thank you very much, Councilor Burns, and thank you for seconding it, Deputy Mayor Vino. All those in favor? Unanimous. Motion has passed.